Hey my loves, and welcome to another live. Ooh, this is so like alive with me right now and vibrating so much that I really wanted to share. And I have a lot to say about this, so I'm not sure if it's all gonna come through in this live or if I will make other lives sharing about this, but this is something that I've been repeatedly learning on my journey. And I was just talking with a really, really special, sacred sister of mine about this. And I was like, this is so powerful. I need to bring this into my life. Well, that was funny, into my life and into my life. So I really also want to just honor my energy and take my time as it starts to come through and not pressure myself, but take it slow. Probably when I start talking about it, it's gonna like start flowing. But for now, just preparing myself to touch on this topic. It's been such a blessing and a major revelation for me to learn this in the past few years and in the past few months. And yeah, it's something that I really want to bring to you today. Today, I want to talk about money and money being safety. Money feeling like safety. So, throughout my spiritual awakening, which I don't even really feel that I had a spiritual awakening, because I feel like I've always been awakened or whatever you want to call it, but throughout my journey, as I went deeper and deeper into the study of transcendentalism and non-dualism and meditation and all of that, there was this like very deep conversation and perspective on everything being an illusion and transcending the ego and transcending physicality and transcending everything, and money being the root of all evil and money being the thing that makes people sell their souls and stuff like that. And throughout the years, I also saw how those people who thought like that were the ones struggling the most with money. And I saw the most beautiful relationships breaking up, with a very big aspect of that being the lack of money, because money was seen as dirty, as a dirty energy, as something to transcend or whatever. And again, please take from this life what resonates and leave the rest. As always with everything I share. But yeah, I started witnessing this common thread in highly spiritual, transcendental people, where they just either couldn't hold money, couldn't charge money, and just couldn't have money or manifest money or whatever. And I started seeing how that affected them and affected their relationships and affected their lives, and also how that affected the impact that they were able to have on the world. With that being said, money is safety in the sense that when you have money and when you have enough money, you are able to do whatever you want, go wherever you want, make your own decisions, your own choices, just be independent and autonomous and literally free. Money is safety and money is freedom. You know how sometimes we talk about some women being gold diggers? I want to share another side of that. I'm not saying that that doesn't exist. It does. But I want to share another perspective on that. The other perspective that is that money equals safety. And for women, having money makes us feel safe in our nervous system. It makes us feel literally safe. For men, maybe it makes them feel freedom. And for us as well, but especially for us, it makes us feel safe. And I'm going to touch upon some energetics that might be triggering or controversial, but I'm just sharing this perspective. And I'm not saying that's the truth in every case. I'm just touching on things that I know are relevant because I've witnessed it over and over again in my life and in many people's lives. Women having money makes us feel safe, makes us feel not just like that we are provided for, that we are free and abundant. It's not about superficiality or being a gold digger, any of that. I'm talking and I'm touching on the theme of feeling safe. And this is not just mental, this is like energetic and nervous system. It feels safe. Let me know if you're a woman, if this resonates. And without going too deep into it, because I know nowadays like everything is very mixed with genders and with masculine and feminine energy and all of that. I get that, and I'm not judging or like I'm just offering a perspective that I feel it's relevant. A man, for example, I'm like, I was thinking, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm like, have been postponing sharing about this for a while, but I'm gonna just touch on it just for now. Hey sister, thank you for being here. Again, I'm not touching upon the superficial aspect of it. I'm talking about the safety, energetic aspect. Hey sister, welcome. For example, especially for awakened spiritual people, men who are very much into transcendence, and everything is an illusion and all of that, that does not feel safe for the feminine. Again, I'm not just saying everyone is like this, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just offering a perspective that might be of value to you. A man who is just transcending and flowing in life and saying that things are an illusion, that might not make the feminine feel safe. And I'm literally talking about the feminine within the man and the feminine, like if the masculine has a partner, for example. When a man has structure and a purpose and goals and it's practical and is able to handle money and handle his life in a practical way, that makes the feminine feel safe to flow, to express, to be feminine. When a man is just flowing through life, even with the beauty of that, without any kind of structure or money, there isn't a sense of safety for the woman. Especially if this woman like wants to have a family or kids or build something together. If there is not like a vision and a clear path and stepping stones and practicality and money, there is a feeling of like not being sure, and this is like subtle and energetic, you know, especially for the women. It does not feel safe. For a woman to be in her feminine the more the masculine is in its masculine, the more the feminine comes into her feminine. And the more these energetics are like more distinct, where the man is very masculine and practical and providing and structured and physical and all of that, the more the feminine gets to flow, to feel safe, to connect, and to do her own magic and her own thing and offer her own energy and nurturance and magic to the relationship. Again, this is not to point fingers, this is not to judge, this is not to... I'm just offering something that I feel might be of value. So, bringing it back, for example, for a woman, me honoring my masculine energy, what I have certain structures in place that allow my feminine to flow, whether it's in my daily routines, in my lives, in my relationships, in my work, in my business, the more my creativity and my feminine energy is able to flow safely. So it's not just about men and women, it can also be just about the masculine and feminine energies within a man and the masculine and feminine energies within a woman. This is something that I've been learning like so much for the last few years. The more I have the masculine structures in place in my life, the more I'm naturally feminine and flowing. The more safe I feel, the more creativity flows through. It's like a river that has the river banks, right? It's like a glass of water, and the masculine is the structure, is the glass, and it's the container, and the water is the feminine. And once the feminine has a place to be contained, it flows more freely. It's not like to say that it's like contained so it's restrictive and blocking and like suffocating. No, like when there are structures in place like the riverbanks, the river flows more naturally. So money, for example, is one of these structures that make feminine energy feel safe. So, for example, the more I create structures for my habits, my daily routines, my evolution, and my money, the more creativity flows through, the more magic comes, the more my feminine overflows, because it feels safe, because it has a container. And this is so relevant, and I share about this in Embodied Spiritual Business and in my business coaching, the masculine and feminine energetics of business, which are both so important and needed to be working together in harmony. We need the physical structures in our business and in our lives so that our feminine energy, our creativity, our genius, our passion flows. It's like, for example, like I need to create the structure of like having an Instagram account and going and clicking going live, like that's the masculine. And then my feminine can flow, right? I can share myself and talk about what's alive for me. And for example, in my lives, when I do these lives, I've been going live every day for a few, maybe months now at this point. And I never ever know what I'm going to be talking about until like just a few minutes or seconds before I go live. That's just how I flow. And I trust my flow. I trust that I don't need to like, this might sound the opposite of what I was just saying, but it's not. I create the avenue, I create the space, I create the structure. And as soon as I do that, like my creativity just flows. I don't need to think in advance like, oh, today I'm going to talk about this. No, I let life inspire me. so that everything that I share is a living, breathing embodiment of my own experience. That's why it's not hard to like talk about it, because it's literally what I'm embodied in. It's what I'm feeling. It's what's alive within me in the moment. So that's why I love allowing myself to just flow. I create the structure. For example, there are moments when I'm creating courses or programs where I need to like build a website, build a funnel, like post about it on social media, do all these things on the back end. But the more I do that and I have those structures in place, then when I actually go to record the videos for the course or the program or the coaching, it just comes out of me so naturally, just flows through. I just need to create the structure, and as soon as I create the structure, then the creativity pours. And it's so easy to create in that way. And for a while there, I didn't have those structures in place. So it was a lot more overwhelming and grounded and destabilized to show up and to share and to flow. But as soon as I started honoring and creating those structures, the easier it became to just flow and to be in my zone of genius and in my creativity. And now I want to bring this subject of money being safety. Money feels like safety. For men, yes, it's like it also feels like freedom, that you get to do whatever you want, that you get to choose what you want to do without thinking about can you afford it or not. You can just do it. You're free. It feels free. But it also in a more feminine way, because freedom is also, and I'm not saying this is exactly like this, but maybe for the masculine, again, in women and in men, it can feel more freeing, that you can do whatever you want. But also in a more feminine way, it feels very safe to have more money. And now I want to bring this subject into, for example, coaching, and people who are coaches, or whether you're like a coach or you're buying a coaching service or a membership or like any type of spiritual or empowering coaching or service online. Not just online, of course, but like I want to bring the topic of money into coaching, because I've been on both sides of the spectrum, and I want to touch upon like different energetics here. So I have been on the side of like paying for coaching. Yeah, I'm gonna like separate this into two things that just turn into four things. You'll catch my meaning. So I've been on the side of like paying for coaching, and I've been on the side of getting coaching for free. Paying for coaching and getting coaching for free are two very different things. There are very different energetics. And I'm not saying energetics in like a super spiritual woo-woo way. Like this is an actual thing that happens. When I receive free coaching, my accountability, my showing up, even like the, like being on time. Even those things sometimes were like flaky, you know, like I wasn't fully showing up. I wasn't fully taking it seriously because it was free. There was no energetic exchange, so there wasn't charge. Oh my God. There was literally no charge. Like people are charging. Oh my God, this is so huge that I just realized it in this moment, and you just saw me having a major light bulb moment like live right now. When people, oh my God, this is so huge. When people are not charging, there is no charge. When you are not charging, there is no charge. Meaning that literally there is no charge, like a battery or whatever, there is no charge. So the intensity of the activation is not as big. So when I am getting free coaching, it's like I'm not so invested, I'm not so charged, I'm not so lit up, I'm not so present and committed and like, you know. And I've also been in places where I paid for coaching. And by the way, I've also been in places where I paid a little bit for coaching and when I paid a lot for coaching. And also those are two very different experiences. So when it's free and when we are receiving free coaching, we don't have so much accountability. There is no like charge. We don't take it so seriously. It's energetic. And if you've been there, you know exactly what I mean. And I know you know exactly what I mean if you have had free coaching. And when you pay for it a little bit, you are a little bit invested. When you pay a lot for it, you are very much invested. You pay a lot more attention. You are a lot more present. You show up on time. You do the things. You make changes. You take action. It's so different. Even like the way my energy just changed explaining one and the other. It's so funny because my energy literally shifted as I was explaining one and the other. Did you see that? Did you notice that? So I've noticed that a lot in my life. There's such a big difference. And I will maybe go back into that, but now I want to go on the other side of it, which is when I am, for example, me who also offers coaching, who also offers services online and in person. It's also very different when I give free coaching and when I give like coaching which is like not so expensive and when I give coaching which is more expensive. And so for example, a while ago I gave a free coaching session to a very dear sister of mine, and if you're watching this, I love you and bless you. But there were all these energetics and all these little things that when it came to the moment of like charging, and that sister told me she wasn't able to pay me. Again, this is also like, and I'm gonna touch into that before. This is also why there are some coaches who prefer to say right away how much coaching is, and they already let you know how much it is the session, and sometimes they only tell you afterwards. And there's also why some coaching people have a sales call before to see if it resonates, if they are aligned, or they have like a form that people need to fill out to see if they are a good fit. So this is something that I feel a lot of people like with very pure hearts and intentions need to learn. Sometimes we want to be of service so much and we want to help people and we want to actually support them, but it's important that we also nurture ourselves. As coaches, for example, it's important that we are not just giving energy, giving without creating the avenues and the boundaries and asking to receive in return. It's very beautiful to give and to offer value. And I'm literally doing that on these lives. I'm literally offering free value all the time. And there's a lot of value here. And at the same time, I've noticed, because this has happened a few times in my coaching journey, where when I give free coaching to someone because I really want to help them and they are not able to pay me, I feel depleted, and it feels like there's an opening of energy that is not fully closed. So it feels like both me and the client keep processing some stuff without being like completion. Meaning that after our session, there is like a further energetic work that both of us need to do because that was like left in the open, if this makes sense. So what happened was I felt that she was so triggered when I asked her, when I told her how much I charged, that like I could feel her energy field closing so much, and I could feel that she was feeling so uncomfortable and so bad, that I felt so bad because she's also a sister and a friend, that I said that she didn't have to pay for it. And I could feel that that was a test that I was meant to go through. It was a test both for me and for her. And I feel like I kind of failed the test. Just being honest, just sharing this. So it is valuable maybe for you. And the reason why is because I know with free coaching that she is not fully committed, she's not fully ready. Because when we are ready, the resources are there. When I was also not ready for more, that's when the coaching was free. That's when I was doing free stuff because I wasn't ready for more. But when I was ready for more, I had the money, I had the resources to pay for it, to show up. And it's very different. So with this sister, I could feel like her energy like collapsing like right away. And I said, actually, I really want to truly be of service. I don't want to be one of those people who manipulates people just to get money out of them. I actually do want to be of service. I genuinely want to help and support you. So if that feels so bad for your nervous system and for your energy, then let it be, like leave it. And I trust that that energy will come to me in some other way. And as soon as I did that, I could feel that that was not the most aligned thing for me to do. Like, you know, those intuitions in the moment that you feel, I could feel it. And right after that happened, some money disappeared from my account unexpectedly. And I was like not related to that, but related to something else. And some money just disappeared from my account. And I was like, I know that this is connected. I literally know that this is connected. And so I observed it and I learned from it. And again, when the other person is like, when you receive, and you don't like have nothing to lose, like you're not, how do you say, biting, like, you know, when you're playing a game, or like, you know, like when you're playing chess or when you're playing a game, you have something to lose, right? Even if it's a game, like when you don't invest in any way, then you don't also gain that much because you're not so fully committed, you're not so fully present, you're not so, do you get what I'm saying? So I knew that, yeah, I showed up for her in that way, but it would be so different if she had, if the energy exchange was there. So there was also other things that I wanted to touch upon, but let me go back to another story. So then after that happened, a few days after that happened, another sister friend of mine also asked me for free coaching. And this was like on a whole nother level. And it's so hilarious. Like sometimes like something happens and you're like, oh, that was a test from the universe and I just failed. And after a while you have another one and you're like, oh, I just failed that one again. Or like, no, this one I'm not gonna fail. So after a few days after that, another, again, it was the same like energetics, like it was someone that I loved, that I genuinely wanted to support, that I could see where she was at and how I could support her go to the next level. And like the energetics felt very similar, you know. And this time it was even like more exaggerated so that I would learn it and see it even better. So this sister, she didn't even fill out my form. She was the one who called me. I told her I was busy doing something else and she just kept talking. And because, again, she was someone that I cared about and a friend and a dear sister, I didn't put up my boundaries and I just offered her for almost 2 hours a free coaching session. Even though I told her many times I have to go, I'm watching a master class, I was busy doing something else. I ended up not watching the master class, long story short, and I stayed there for 2 hours just giving her so much value, just holding space for her, sharing all these golden nuggets, all these energetic things about her business and what she could do for her business and stuff like that. And she told me, you know, like I'm not able to pay you, but I can refer you to other people. And I was like, I literally know that this is another test. But I'm like, God, but I literally do want to help people. I don't want to be one of those people who just charges a lot and doesn't really care. Like, I actually do care, and I actually do want to help, and I actually do want to support. And it was like, yeah, it's more important for me to support than to receive something from it. There's a little trick there, which I didn't fully grasp at the time. And you know what happened, you guys? Seriously, because you can't make this stuff up. What then happened? So I didn't learn the first time. And it's not just that, you guys. It's like when you fail a test that the universe gives you, sometimes you kind of literally suffer the consequences. So the first time I failed the test that the universe gave me, and the next day, literally money disappeared from my account. And I knew it was related. Then a few days later, something similar happens. And you know what happened? Besides me spending almost 2 hours with this sister where I kept telling her I need to go, and she kept asking more energy of me, and I just felt bad hanging up or telling her I need to go and actually hanging up, until the point where I literally physically needed to get out of my house. I stayed there and I gave her so much value. And I told her, I really do want to help you, and I do want to support you, and I do see you. So I'm here for you. I want you to feel that I'm here for you and that I actually care, because I actually do. So I told her, please fill out this form that I have, because the form itself helps me. Once you're answering these questions, it helps me see where you're at. So when we go into another session, I already know where you're at, and it's easier for us to start flowing and for things to come through, because I already have a map of your energy and what's present for you. She didn't fill out the form, and she said she would be available, and then she wasn't, and then she said maybe tomorrow, and I was like, this is such a test and I'm failing so much again. So I was like, okay, so let's schedule for tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and she tells me she is like, has a lot of things to do, so she isn't able to show up. And I'm like, I booked this free time on my very busy schedule with so much love and care to show up for this sister, because I do care and I do want to support and I do want to be of help. And she literally did not show up. And I took it seriously. I took the time out of my schedule to have that time to be with her. I asked her to fill out the form. She didn't. I showed up for our session. She told me she wouldn't. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what happens when I don't honor my receiving energy, when I don't also honor my value, the value of my time, the value of what I have to share, the value of the activations and informations and the insights that I have to share, and also just my own energy, my own boundaries. I didn't honor my masculine energy of having a structure and a container and a boundary. And I just wanted to give. And then I didn't put any boundaries to then receive with respect and be respected. Of course, she didn't do that on purpose to be disrespectful or anything. It's just because she didn't pay for it, she didn't take it seriously. So it wasn't a priority for her. So she didn't show up. And I learned and I know that if she had paid for it, she would be there, because she would know the value of the transformation she was going to go through, and she would freaking show up, because she knew if she showed up for one session with me, her life would change so fast in just one session. Because that's the power of having a mentor, a coach, a mirror that sees your energy field, sees your energetics, and shows you that, and helps you upgrade and helps you transform and helps you make changes to bring awareness and then make the necessary changes. But because she literally did not invest, she was not invested. So it wasn't a priority for her, so she didn't show up. And I had already given her so much, and I showed up and I booked the time and she didn't show up. And I was like, okay. So there's this very nurturing part of me that loves her and wants to be of service and supports her. And then there's like this masculine coach part of me, which is like, I have mastered the giving parts all my life. The giving part, giving, nurturing people, supporting people. I've mastered that. That's natural for me. And it's natural for a lot of people, especially women. To give, it's so natural. To give, to nurture, to care, to want to help, to support, that's very natural. But maybe I haven't mastered the coach, the leader, the mentor, the masculine boundary part of me that much. That's why these two situations happened a few days from each other. And how funny and synchronistic it is that money disappeared from my account. And once I realized what happened, the money showed up again. Once I learned the lesson. And then it's like, okay, now I have to, then it was like, now I have to do the part that I don't really like, which is like putting a boundary, being more serious, being more coachy and less friendly, you know, like having to have a more masculine, like coach approach to help her see the energetics that are playing out and ask her if she really wants to take this seriously or if I let her go because it's not honoring me. And you know what I've learned in my life and in my coaching business? That as soon as I do that, someone who can invest and is invested shows up. But when I just give and don't receive, then another lesson shows up to like help me see it again, to see if I do it differently this time, to see if I actually learn the lesson. And I was talking about this with a friend of mine, and she literally got everything that I was saying, and she literally also shared this with me, where she was in places where she was receiving free coaching. She wasn't fully invested because she didn't pay for it. She didn't invest in it. So she also wasn't energetically that much invested. And she has also been on the other spectrum where she was coaching for free and people were literally just sucking her energy. She was just giving and people were not paying. And so she felt so depleted, so tired, you know. And also that she has given coaching where people paid her well, and she felt like so much energized, like so much more creativity comes through, like literally like a lot more comes through. And the more we are nurtured, the more we are able to also nurture our clients and our friends and the people around us. So that's why it's so important to charge for coaching. You take it seriously, you are invested, you're present. And I've seen it from both sides. I've been on the receiving free coaching, and I've been on receiving cheap coaching, and I've been on receiving high ticket coaching. And I've been on the side of giving free coaching, giving cheap coaching, and giving high ticket coaching. And it's so freaking different. Please let me know if this resonates and if you know what I'm saying. And if you have had any experiences where these tests or any other test shows up in your life, where you don't learn the lesson first and something kind of bad happens, and then you need to learn the lesson, and another lesson shows up a few days later or a while later, and then maybe you fail again, or maybe that time you learn and things shift. And let me tell you this, and again, I'm offering like a lot of energy here, because these are also like business codes. You know what just happened when I was going to say that? It just disappeared out of my mind, because I just feel like I'm not supposed to share this here actually. I was about to say it and it literally disappeared from my thoughts. Like, seriously, you guys, watch me right now. You can't make this stuff up. I was about to give you even more gold for free, this is like spiritual business coaching, embodied coaching, energetics. I was literally about to give you even more. And as soon as I was about to do that, literally, you are literally seeing me do this right here, right now in front of your eyes. It literally disappeared from my thoughts right away. Do I learn from it or do I try to catch it? No, it just literally disappeared because I'm not supposed to share that with you here on this container. And that's okay. And this is why I created the Activation Membership, which is a very low ticket space that instead of me just sharing like this on social media, it's more an intimate, closed space for us to connect, for us to activate, where I offer podcast coaching there and other kinds of resources and activations there, which is more intimate. And then if you truly want to dive really deep with me, whether it's for your life, for integrating your spirituality and your humanness, or for building or scaling your spiritual business, that's when I have group coaching or private coaching. And the stakes are much higher. The higher the price goes, the stakes are higher. So my clients who receive from me for free, first, they are not my clients because you're just consuming free content that I share. The clients that are inside the membership receive more of me and they are also more invested. The clients who receive group coaching from me also receive a lot more from me and they are a lot more invested. The clients that work with me privately receive so much more from me and they are so much more invested. And because of that, the transformations in their lives are to a whole other level. Again, money is safety, money is freedom, and money is a way of exchanging goods and services on earth. And if we truly want to make a change in our lives and in the planet, people like us with pure hearts and pure intentions who truly want to be of service and support to others and to humanity, it's time for people like us to receive and hold and handle more money. Because that way we are more nurtured. We feel safer, more free, and we are overflowing with energy, and we are then able to nurture others even more, to make changes, to travel, to create your events, to facilitate, to help other people, to provide, to build sustainable places. You guys, there's so much we can do with money. Let's stop thinking that money is not spiritual or money is whatever. Money is very sacred and important, especially for people with pure hearts and pure intentions. And if you're watching this and you are used to receiving things for free, or you are used to giving everything for free, whether you're creating events, ceremonies, activations, coaching, whatever it is, just for free, just notice what this video does for you. And maybe right after you watch this, something happens in your life that will be like a test like the ones I just shared. Maybe you will go through tests like that. And maybe you will pass the test right away. Maybe you will fail and then another one will come and you will learn from it. You know, also what I shared on the Activation Membership, we are now doing like audio podcasts every day. That's a whole nother story from a whole nother lesson that I needed to learn into my leadership, but that's for another life. But we are now doing an audio podcast inside the Activation Membership where I share daily trainings and daily activations. And today I was speaking into that, you know, in a video game, like I remember, like, I never played video games, but there was this one that I played, like it was Mario or something with the little mushrooms and the little things, you know, that you jumped. So for every level that you are in the game, the challenges become more difficult, more challenging, right? Whenever you are playing a game, when you pass, like, you go through a little bit of challenges, so then you face the big bad monster at the end. So those little challenges and difficulties prepare you to be stronger and more equipped to deal with the big bad guy at the end of the level. And once you pass that, and when you reach the other level, you are stronger, you are more equipped, you are more able to move through the different challenges that are now more challenging even than the previous level. And you go through those challenges that also prepare you for the bigger challenge at the end of the level. And this is how also life is. It's like every time you step on a new stair, you have like higher energetics to play with. And when you step on the higher stair, you have higher energetics to play with. Meaning what? Just using other words, because sometimes like stairs and energetics, maybe not everyone gets what I'm saying, but like every level in your life has different challenges. And once you upgrade and you learn the lessons, you upgrade, the challenges sometimes become more challenging because you are better equipped to deal with them. So may we see, this is what I shared in the activation podcast, may we see these challenges not as like blocks, like, oh, these challenges are like, oh, this bad thing that happened, but like activations, like portals. Like you want to move past this, like it's like the video game. You want to pass to save the princess, you need to face the monster, So the monster is not an obstacle to like hurt you or whatever. It's like the portal, the activation that makes you stronger to then save the princess. You get what I'm saying? So I know and trust that this was of value to you, because this was so alive within me right now after having this conversation with my friends that I was like, oh, I really want to go live today, but I didn't know what I was going to share. This is exactly it. This is so alive within me right now. This is exactly what I want to speak into. This is exactly what I want to share. So that's it for today. Like just direct. And I told you, like in the beginning of this live, I told you, I might need a moment to prepare for what I'm about to share. But once I start flowing, it will just flow naturally. And as always, I'm a living embodiment of everything that I share. That's why it's so easy to speak. That's why it's so easy for it to come through, because I'm embodied in it. It's alive within me, so it moves through me. So I told you in the beginning of the live, I might need a moment to breathe and like, let me prepare, because I feel like a lot's gonna come through. Let me prepare. But once it starts to come out, it's just gonna flow right through me, and it literally happens. So this is what I want to share with you today, and thank you for being here. Let me know what you think. Let's have a conversation about this. We talked about money being safety, money being freedom. We talked about masculine and feminine energetics. We talked about receiving coaching and giving coaching. We talked about business mastery and exchange of energy and all of that. So I'm really passionate to talk about these things every day. I do this more inside the activation membership and in my group and private coaching, especially like business coaching, which is something that I'm really passionate about. And yeah, let me know what you feel. If you want to join us inside the activation community, also comment saying activation. I will send you the link to join. If you want to join our group coaching or private coaching with me, also just message me privately and I will get you sorted out. And that's all for today. Thank you and bless you.